7 days before the wedding, the house was already different. Not louder, quieter, as if everyone understood without being told that something worth remembering had begun. The grandmother had already decided what the wedding cloth would be: cream, with a hem of small leaves, the same pattern her own mother had stitched the morning before her wedding, 60 years ago. The bride's aunt arrived without being asked. She simply appeared at the door with her sewing basket, sat down across from the grandmother, and threaded her needle. That was how it was done here. The bride walked out before breakfast to choose the flowers herself. She had been thinking about this for a long time. Not the arrangements, but the feeling. Something that smelled like the hillside on a morning just like this one. Her mother had started the wedding feast 3 days before the wedding itself. The dried figs had been soaking since Sunday. The lentils were already sorted. Everything was in its own quiet order. The groom's father spent 2 days repairing the old wooden arch that would stand at the entrance of the ceremony. He worked without hurry, as a man works when he knows the thing he is making matters. The older women of the village had agreed to come on Wednesday to help with the cloth. Nobody had sent a message. Nobody needed to. By mid-morning, the room was full. The wedding cloth lay in the center of the table, nearly finished. 4 women sewed and 3 more pressed and folded. The bride sat at one end and did not sew. She simply watched and understood that this was the gift. And the first loaves, the ceremonial ones, were placed inside before any other. Late that night, the grandmother found the bride alone at the kitchen table. She was embroidering her own name into the inner hem of the wedding cloth, the name she would carry into the new house. The groom's younger brother spent Friday morning cutting reeds from the river's edge, the long, straight ones, which would be woven into baskets for the ceremony. The flower garlands were made that afternoon, at the courtyard table, with everything the bride had gathered from the hillside on Tuesday and kept in cool water since. She woke before anyone else on the wedding morning. She sat on the edge of her bed in the first grey light and looked at the cloth hanging from the hook on her door, the cloth that so many hands had made. She touched the hem her grandmother had begun in the dark, and the leaf her own needle had added by lamplight. By mid-morning, the courtyard had become something else. The arch stood at its center, dressed with garlands of marigold and chamomile. The tables were set. The bread was stacked. All the making was done. What was left now was just the day itself. After it was done, the grandmother sat alone at the edge of the courtyard for a long time. The garlands still hung. The tables had been mostly cleared. She held a small piece of leftover linen in her hands, not doing anything with it, just holding it. Some things do not need to be said to be understood.